About 1 kilometer from the Churchill Roosevelt Highway down the Tumpuna Road, sitting on an 11-acre spread of land, is the most beautiful horse farm, the Bonanza Horse Farm and Riding School. Join us today as we sit with one of Trinidad's most famous jockeys, Mr. Ed De Freitas, as he shares with us his experiences on winning his first race and his passion in what he does at the Bonanza Farm. Hi, here I am with Mr. De Freitas. He has the most wins as a jockey in the Caribbean region. He has ridden in Barbados, France, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Guyana. He rode in Venezuela. Mr. De Freitas, can you tell us where you started off?
I started off, well, first to be my father was a trainer, like another private trainer, and we had horses. I grew up in horses all my life. We had a little farm where he bred 1 or 2 horses, and every day, like we live about maybe half mile from the track, and the horses were under our house. Where we live, the race horses, and I had to ride the horses down for them to work in the morning, and they then get back and go to school, and then when they come back, see about the horses and everything like that. That's how I started. So I was on the races, and I went to school, in ARC. That's a place near to us, the Arima Boys RC, where when you become 15 years old, so and you're going to exhibition class, they had 4 scholarships, and I wasn't able to get one because they had only 4 scholarships. So at 14 years, I left school and trained to become a jockey by my father there. And it didn't take me long because I'd been riding from a little boy right through. And I became one of the youngest jockeys ever in this country at 15 years old.
The Bonanza Farm is also a popular destination for primary school outings. As a child in 1993, I remember clearly my visit to this farm, and that memory of that day remains as one of the best experiences of my childhood. It's wonderful to see that since then, Mr. De Freitas has added numerous new activities for children. Parents can now book the clubhouse for birthday parties. In addition to pony rides, they can rent bouncy castles and costume characters to entertain the children. There's a playground equipped with jungle gym and slides, and there's also cotton candy machines and popcorn machines.
I am Mario Millington. I'm 13 years old. I work at the Freitas Farm and I train a woman, a lady also today, and I would like to let people know how to you could come and get trained here too.
Today is my first official volunteer day, and the young man riding in the back who's only 13 years, he is the expert who actually took me around this morning, and we cleaned stables, we cleaned ponies, we baited a horse. I saw a horse mate for the first time just now. I saw the entire process. So it's been a great day, and it's been very humbling and exciting to learn from a 13-year-old who is so passionate about being a jockey. He's been doing this since he has been 8, and he told me so much. I have notes to go and right now. So it's been a great day.
You train a lot of winners.
Well, I have trained I won every race to be won in Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, nearly every race. I won the Derby, all the big races and everything like that. But what I specialize in is like what gave me a lot of achievement was whereby someone else have horses and they can't get it to do anything. Like the champion trainer in Trinidad, it to do anything. And my friend and them who had owned the horse, they brought it to me. And I came and I won 5 straight with it. Right. And like when a horse, I'll give you a good example of one of the things I remember in my career. You see, as a jockey, most of the other jockeys we're not what they call horsemen. They grew up in there. I grew up in horses, and there. Like I'll give you an example. When I was riding, they had one of one of the big owners. They had two horses in a race, and this horse, every time we run, when it comes to the straight run, it will go straight, go down Frederick Street. Frederick Street every time. So Charlie Jones, one of my main colleagues, my main competitor, he rode for the big stable. I rode in Trinidad freelance. So I had so in this case, the champion trainer and he and myself, the owner had two horses. So he took one horse, and I took the bad horse who used to go straight all the time. Yeah. And I won, and I rode the horse and won, and he ran second. So the second day he changed. He said, "He won my horse." I rode his horse, and when the horse reached the street, it went straight down to the limos and bought some jewelry, and I won. And the following day, he switched back. I take the horse I won with, and I take the same horse with, and went and won. Yeah, these are the memories of like how you do, so. But going back, that's why you see, like in training, when a horse, um, have a problem or anything like that, I can rehab it.
During my visit, Mr. De Freitas welcomed us into his home and shared with us his vast array of memorabilia and totally immersed me in the events behind every picture and newspaper clipping. It was a thoroughly fascinating history lesson on horse racing.
Right, this is the first race I won as a professional jockey. When I had one ride, that's on the second day in Trinidad. Right? Right here. And I beat the president horse. He wasn't losing.
Interesting to note that Mr. De Freitas has met the father of our nation, Dr. Eric Williams, Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai, the largest racehorse owner in the world, and famous English jockeys Lester Piggott and Peter Scudamore.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good, thank you. Not too bad.
How did you hear about this place?
Okay, I heard about it in terms of every time we drive, drive to go home to Las Lomas, we would see the farm, and my daughter will always point out to us, "Hey, look, Daddy, we want to go horseback riding, horseback riding." So for the Easter vacation, we decided to bring the kids here to try the horseback riding. It was good experience.
So you thoroughly enjoyed it. First time on a horse?
Well, actually, my second time on a horse. My first time was in Venezuela. And I remember I had a little rough experience where it is that the guys beat the horse and the horse just rode off. Yeah, he just took off and went. So I wanted a similar experience right today. But those guys did the opposite. They took their time and they stroll with the horse and that kind of thing.
So they gave you a ride with the horses that are good for beginners.
Well, yes, as they say, safety first. So I thought I got treated like a professional, but I didn't. I was expecting to ride the horse fast, but I didn't get that today.
Because a lot of people don't realize that in the world of horses, when you become a horse person, there, you always have a job any part of the world. It's always a demand. If you you can go into the internet and check, like in the world of horses, the case like that. Do you know that horses produce more employment than tobacco, furniture and fittings, railroad, petroleum in the United States? A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah. Because over here, some of the fellas we train, they go from in April now, when the winter is finished, and they go and work till winter come on.
Could you share with us your thoughts on your first win as a jockey, a professional jockey?
Well, it wasn't like a professional jockey. You had to be like an apprentice. We had to ride. We had a track in Tobago, and the young fellas, before they could be granted a license to ride in Trinidad, they had to ride in Tobago first. And the meetings was in like October and February. So this year I rode in October. When I was 15 years old, I was most probably one of the youngest jockeys ever in Trinidad. And I rode 3 races that meeting. I ran 1/4 on a horse I can remember, all remember, a horse called Anthem. Yeah, that was my first ride too. There. And I had to wait till February because we were not allowed to ride in Trinidad because they did not have like what you call like where they have a apprentice license and that type of thing. So in February I went back and I won my first race on a horse called Seafarer, which was belonged to the rum magnate Mr. J.B. Fernandez, VAT 19 rum and that type of thing. Yeah. And then when I came to Trinidad, I got my open license that I could have ridden with in Trinidad. And the first meeting that I rode was in Arima, where the barrel track. It was right opposite where I was born. There I was born. Right, maybe you could cross the road and you had a racetrack there. That was the old Arima racetrack. And first day I rode, the races was on Thursday and on Saturday. And the first Thursday, when races was going on, most of all my sort of like, I went to Arima Boys RFC, and that's only about right up the road. And everybody had me like young Ed De Freitas who riding today. And all the guys, most of them, they go back to school after lunch. They came down to the racetrack to see me ride. And the first race I rode, I nearly won there. I came second. And all the boys stormed the track. I didn't win, but on the headline next day, that day I rode 3 races. I ran second and 2 thirds there over 5 rides. And then on Saturday I was supposed to ride them. Some of the horses that were short distance horses, and the races were longer on the Saturday. But that day when I ran second there, the headline the next day was Ed De Freitas was all the schoolboys' hero when he rode there because they all did not go back to school on Thursday. I don't know what happened on Friday, but they stormed the track. Yeah.
Mr. De Freitas has decided to sell the Bonanza Farm and clubhouse. What is remaining of the property is 11 acres, which includes a 3-bedroom house, the clubhouse, over 40 stables, pastures, and storerooms. The property is quite large, very spacious, and is a peaceful haven away from busy Arima.
Well, it's on the market right now. One of the reasons is this, that all my family is away. It's only me here now. My kids are away and everything, and they want me to, spend a little more time with them. So that's about it.
How large is this farm?
Well, this section, what we're selling here, is approximately 11 acres. We have sold different parcels already. It was eventually about 30-something acres.
Oh, in entirety.
Yeah, but this section here, the section where all the operations, the others were just pastures.
And how many stables are there?
We have approximately about 40 stables. 40 stables. The property is like a 2-story, where there's a living resident upstairs and a downstairs too. I now stay here because we have sold our house where I used to live in Fairways. There, we sold that already.
And aside from the stables and the residential area, there's also the clubhouse. How large is the clubhouse?
Well, the clubhouse, it's big enough, like when we have children coming here, who's 100 children easily. It hold more too. but it's about 100 people with ease.
And there also another building here, the office and some quarters, are those quarters for workers?
Yeah, but it has it's the office and the costume room too, where we have all our costumes and other things to do, special events. And then we have the warehouse in the back that holds all the bouncy castles, and we have the annex apartment there, where when people come from away to ride, and we're now putting in, we just put in about 2 apartments already, and we're building 2 more here, so like when people come they can stay.
So whether it be for educational purposes or just plain old fun, the Bonanza Farm is definitely worth your visit. Thank you for watching another Kelly Village TV production. Please subscribe to our channel.